Tehran, Season 3, Episode 4. Recap and review. Episode 4 of Tehran Season 3 starts with Tamar watching as Peterson is taken inside the warehouse by a Sipa escort. With backup over 40 minutes out, it's all up to Tamar and the owl, with the latter watching on. Tamar manages to hitch a ride on a lorry that just so happens to be bound for the warehouse. With Tamar inside the compound and the owl on lookout duties, she makes it inside the warehouse. She sees Peterson and the others in a rather heated chat about the nuclear parts. He's nervous and certainly does look in control. Suddenly, a van full of people rock up and immediately start firing. How they got into the compound is anyone's guess, but as bullet rains down, Tamar takes advantage of the chaos. They were looking for the case of nuclear parts, but these newcomers have it and they take off. However, the owl is given instructions from Yulia to take them out, bringing him and Tamar into the game. They were too late though, as they take off with the parts and Peterson too. Tamar also owes her life to the owl as well, given he shoots one of the Sipa just before Tamar looks set to be killed. They do have a tracker on the van though, and they hurriedly follow along. Now, one of the men in this group happens to be Kazem Bijani. She spotted him inside Ramon's restaurant, and he could well be a big connection here. Their goal right now is to get Peterson. It does take long before Mossad learned that Kazim is connected to a group called the Baradaran, the Brotherhood. These guys are a violent, dangerous organization with no known association with other opposition groups. It seems like they could be in lieu with Ramon. Elsewhere, Faraz finds the documents regarding Norway in Nahida's dresser. Before he can pry further, he's called out following the robbery at Ramon's warehouse. In his absence, Nahid continues to talk to Ava. She also meets her son, Amin too. As for Faraz, he finds evidence of sniper bullets outside the compound, and he starts to get a picture of what's been happening. Larijani rocks up not long after and explains that finding Eric Peterson is of the utmost importance. But Faraz needs to do it discreetly as a way of proving his loyalty. When Larijani leaves, Faraz orders a tap on Ramon's phone. Interestingly though, he happens to be at the women's shelter. It does take long for him to blindside Tamar, taking her phone just as the owl looks set to ring. He seems to suss what's happening, and the owl cleverly claims that he's from a taxi company. Ramon had Tamar followed since she acquired the medicine. He's also curious about how Tamar managed to get out of the station so fast. He thinks she's involved with the cops, until she talks. All the women here are in danger. She eventually agrees to open up, but not at the shelter. While this is going on, the owl grabs a rug and heads into an adjacent building. The rug happens to be hiding his sniper, and it does take long before he gets eyes on Tamar and Ramon in heated discussion. Tamar thinks quickly, pointing out that Kazem was an old boyfriend, and his group hid his shipment. Ramon calls Isa and his group, who happen to be aligned with Kazem. They are also the ones who have captured Eric Peterson, without realizing what a high-value target he actually is. The man injured in the warehouse shootout happens to be Kazim, who's now dead. Ramon believes they can use Peterson as leverage. Although Tamar is safe for now, and the shelter free from Ramon's suspicions, she realizes she needs to leave the shelter. However, it is not the owl who picks her up in the van. It's Faraz. He promises that she's going to pay for everything she's done. Midway through the season, and we get a little more action, including a tense warehouse shootout, and some great interrogation scenes. The drama involving Ramon and Tamar hits fever pitch, but the latter manages to talk her way out of trouble with a smart play. She's lucky that Kazem actually did die, because there's no way he would have corroborated her story about Tamar being an ex-girlfriend. The real drama, though, stems from that ending, which puts an angry and frazzled Faraz back in the driver's seat as he looks set to get his revenge on Tamar. Sure, he's not been incriminated for the general's computer, but that's twice now that he's had Tamar slip through his fingers. Adding to that is the drama involving his wife heading off to Norway, and that's a pressure cooker situation just waiting to kick off. We know that Eric Peterson is a high-profile target, and right now, he seems like the key to unlocking the situation. Who will come out on top, though? We'll have to wait until next week to find out.